What if I told you the secret to winning almost any conflict is staying calm while everyone else loses their mind? In a world where confrontation feels like combat, at work, in relationships, online, we're often told to stand our ground, raise our voice, or fight fire with fire. But there was a man who did the opposite and won over 60 deadly duels without losing a single one. His name was Miyamoto Musashi, a legendary Japanese swordsman who believed the real battle isn't fought with weapons, it's fought with the mind. This isn't just a story from ancient Japan. It's a timeless guide for how to stay calm, composed, and completely in control. No matter what kind of conflict you're facing, whether it's pressure at work, tension in your relationship, or a war going on inside your own head, Musashi's mindset still works. So in this video, we're breaking down his 3 core principles for emotional control, pulled from his life, his battles, and his legendary philosophy. Chapter 1. Control the space. Control the fight. Musashi's first principle wasn't about speed, or strength, or even skill with a blade. It was about control, especially the control of space. He believed that in any confrontation, whether physical or emotional, whoever controls the space controls the outcome. Let me explain. The duel that proved it. There's a famous story about Musashi's most legendary duel against a master swordsman named Sasaki Kojiro. Kojiro was younger, faster, and incredibly skilled. People feared him. He used a long custom sword he called the drying pole, and he was known for ending fights in a single strike. Musashi showed up late to the duel, deliberately. He kept Kojiro waiting in the heat, standing under the sun, burning with frustration. By the time Musashi arrived, calmly stepping off a boat, holding a wooden sword he carved from an oar, Kojiro was already emotionally off balance. The fight lasted just seconds. Musashi dodged Kojiro's first attack, struck once, and it was over. The real lesson. Now most people focus on Musashi's clever tactics or the fact that he carved a weapon from a boat paddle. But the real power move? He controlled the space physically and mentally. He turned the setting to his advantage. He made his opponent wait, overheating both his body and his mind. He stepped into the duel already calm, while his enemy was emotionally flooded. Musashi didn't just fight his opponents, he shaped the conditions of the fight before it ever began. Think about a modern conflict, maybe a heated meeting at work or an argument with a partner. The person who rushes in angry, defensive, and reactive usually loses control fast, but the one who pauses, creates space, stays composed. They control the tone, the pace, the energy. Controlling space means take a breath before you respond, letting silence do the talking, shifting the emotional environment instead of matching the chaos. It's not about avoiding conflict, it's about owning the environment where it happens. Musashi mastered this, and you can too. Chapter 2. The power of observation. See everything, be ready for anything. Have you ever noticed how, when you're in the heat of an argument, you can't stop focusing on your own feelings or the other person's words? You're so caught up in the moment, you miss everything around you. That's a trap. Musashi knew it well. In his duels, he didn't just watch his opponent, he watched everything. This principle goes beyond just being aware of your opponent or the situation. Musashi believed in the power of observation. He didn't fixate on what was being said or done. Instead, he kept his mind sharp and ready for anything, noticing every shift, every movement, every opportunity others might miss. Think about how this works in real life. Imagine you're in a heated conversation, maybe at work or with a partner. In that moment, it's so easy to focus on winning the argument. The problem is, you miss the bigger picture. You're not seeing what's actually going on. You're caught up in your emotions. Musashi, on the other hand, stayed quiet, observed the body language, and read between the lines of what was really happening. By doing this, he could predict his opponent's next move before they made it. His victories came from waiting for the perfect moment, when his opponent made a mistake or let their guard down. In life, when you're in a conflict, instead of reacting right away, take a step back. Don't just listen to what's being said, listen to what's not being said. Pay attention to body language, tone, and emotions. By doing this, you can make better decisions from a place of clarity, not impulse. This approach shifts the power dynamic. You're no longer reacting, you're in control. Musashi's keen observation helped him stay one step ahead. For example, if you're in a tough conversation at work and you notice your boss is stressed, not angry, you can respond with empathy. Instead of becoming defensive, you can help diffuse the situation and show you're on the same team. You've turned a potential conflict into an opportunity. Musashi's lesson here is simple. Don't rush into the fight. Observe first. Stay aware of your surroundings and your own thoughts. Chapter 3. The Power of Timing. When to move. When to wait. When you're in the middle of a conflict, it's easy to feel like you need to act immediately, to react before your opponent does. But what if the key to winning isn't rushing in? What if the secret is knowing when to move and when to wait? Miyamoto Musashi was a master of timing. In the heat of battle, while others rushed to strike, Musashi knew that the right moment to act could make all the difference. He wasn't just focused on his opponent's moves. He was focused on timing the right moment to act, making his move when it would land most effectively. This principle applies to any conflict, whether you're negotiating at work, handling a tough conversation, or dealing with an internal struggle. Imagine you're in a disagreement at work with a colleague. You could react immediately, countering every point they make, but that might escalate the situation. Instead, Musashi's advice is to wait for the perfect opening. A pause, a vulnerability, or a moment of clarity. That's when you act. In real-life conflicts, this could mean staying silent when you're tempted to speak, letting the other person vent, or giving space before making your point. It's about letting the situation evolve and positioning yourself to respond effectively. Musashi's brilliance wasn't in acting quickly, but in knowing that when you force an issue too soon, you lose control. The best fighters know that forcing a move often leads to mistakes. Waiting for the perfect moment, when your opponent is off balance or distracted, is what gives you the upper hand. Let's take a practical example. In a relationship, maybe you're upset and want to argue about something. Musashi's principle would tell you not to rush into the fight. Instead, wait until you can respond from a calm place, when the other person is ready to listen. You don't just speak for the sake of speaking, you speak when it'll matter most. It's like this. Think of a bow and arrow. If you shoot before drawing the string fully, the shot will be weak. But when you wait, pull back, and then release. That's when your shot has power. The same applies to conflicts. Miyamoto Musashi didn't just win duels with his sword. He won them with his mind. His principles of observation, timing, and emotional control are as relevant today as they were in ancient Japan. By staying calm when others lose their composure, observing every detail, and waiting for the perfect moment to act, you can navigate any conflict with confidence and clarity. So, next time you face a tough situation, remember Musashi's wisdom. Keep your mind sharp, stay patient, and strike when it counts. Control your emotions, and you'll control the outcome.